trip to Israel. As described in writing, through the eyes of a teenager from Chicago. This is the story of when I went to Israel. Over 10 days, 20 hours of flight, unforgettable memories, one life-changing trip. Our plane left at about 11:30 after some delays from medical emergencies on December 19th. The end was near as we took off from Istanbul, Turkey, en route to Israel. As we got off the plane, we were told very bad news.
What really happened is that we were going to Naharyia, and apparently missiles landed there tonight, so probably not the greatest idea to go there. So we got diverted, so we were staying up in some mountains near Tel Aviv instead.
From the suburb of Tel Aviv through the mountains to Naharyia. December 22nd. The view from the top of the mountain was one of the most beautiful views I have ever seen. December 22nd. I started out very scared of the heights and the rides like this. And by the end, I was able to overcome the fear, realizing it wasn't scary, but that I enjoyed it. I had never realized how beautiful nature was until I stepped foot in the Hanikra Grottos. They were so beautiful. Then had to walk through a tunnel that was once used for trains. It was like going back in time. A big base at the top of the mountain that was used as a border protection, as the Hanikra Grottos are right on the border of Lebanon and Israel. I found the old city of Akko pretty interesting, mainly because I love history. The history of this place is outstanding. Over 4 centuries of armies occupied this city. The trip so far has been so amazing. Things are so different than I was expecting. The views are so spectacular so far. Little did I know, things were just getting started. December 25th, we went to a Druze village. Although a lot remains private about their religion, it was so amazing to be able to get a glimpse of a religion unknown to most. Day 1 with our host families. The Mediterranean Sea was gleaming in the light like a mirror into the sky. When you can say you'll literally have lost ruins from centuries ago, you know you are in Israel, because that only happens in Israel. The ruins we walked through were so fascinating. They were over 1,000 years old, and there were still remnants of the church, the well, some houses, and even this giant grinding stone. Joined by an amazing view, we walked up to an observatory overlooking the border of Israel and Lebanon to the north. The only thing separating these two countries is a gravel road surrounded by fencing. The next place we visited is called Fort Nimrod. It's on the south side of Mount Hermon, the tallest mountain. It has a huge history, ranging from Saladin to an earthquake in the 1800s. That's why I loved it. This is the stunning view from atop an abandoned IDF, Israeli Defense Force, base. I never thought I would be overlooking Syria ever in my life. That's just something you never expect to do in your entire life. And everyone I showed this to asked the same question. Were you scared? The answer was no, because you really don't think about that while you're there. You're just in the moment realizing, wow, this is such a beautiful view. You put all the negatives aside and you look at the positives. Tel Aviv had the most unique architecture I had ever seen. The different shapes of the buildings were something I never expected to see. I also learned that the world is not very different. The buildings, the restaurants, the people, everything is kind of just the same. Just because it has a different language, it's still the same thing. People haven't changed over thousands of years. Just like Israel isn't really that different from Chicago or New York City or Los Angeles. What's different is the way that each and every person looks at the same thing. Because if we all thought the same thing, this world wouldn't be as diverse as it really is today. This was shot literally minutes before I slipped and fell while trying to get this beautiful shot. My camera battery shattered into a million pieces. The next day, we visited the historical city called the City of David, which lies directly next to the old city of Jerusalem. Silence hit us harder than any silence had ever hit us before. And even though there was snow in Turkey, it was a good reminder that our trip was unfortunately coming to an end. As fast as it started, our trip was over. 10 days later, we leave, flying into the sunset. We flew thousands of miles, saw hundreds of beautiful places, had hours and hours of fun, and will live to remember it all forever.